I sort of went to drama school, did sort of a lot of, sort of did my acting and went out and worked in the industry. Then I had a couple of meltdowns and I went home to live with my parents. I had this idea, so I started writing it. And when I came back to London, I had this other idea for a short film that just kept thinking about. And I said to my mate, I've got this idea. And he said, well, why don't we just shoot it? Me and the DP fired the other guy because he was useless. And then we raised about $8,000 and made our first short. And then from there, we just thought, oh, well, let's make another one. And we set up a company and then started doing music videos. And I had an offer of a film in the States, which I worked on for a week before I thought it was so terrible I left and quit. Came back, lived with my parents, signed on. Yeah, mate, it was terrible. It was the worst film ever in the whole world, and but it was also for the worst people. And then my mate was like, would you watch this film? I was like, no, it's terrible. So he said, well, don't do it. And then I didn't do it and went back home, and that's when I was so annoyed with just living at home and being skinned and wanting to actually make something that I wrote London to Brighton and said, right, we're doing this. We had this guy sort of had already invested in like short films, some of the short films we'd done. He's wealthy, he was an ex-stockbroker. I wrote the script over a weekend, and on the Thursday I met him and I was like, look, I want to do this feature film and I'm going to make it for $60,000. If you can raise it for me, then I'll give you half of everything. And I said, I need £500 to set up the company. And he's wrote me a check, and that was really for my rent at the time. He basically asked all his golf buddies and his stockbroker buddies to put in a couple of grand. And then we had the $60,000 within a couple of weeks. It's weird because it's sold all over the world. Almost every territory and country played it. It was the best reviewed film of the year, that year. And the distributors sort of made their money. And I've made about $2,000 off the film. The investors have had bits of money back. But you could say we learnt a valuable lesson on that film. There was no one there to tell me to do anything. And it was, there were people there to, give notes and advice and all that sort of stuff. But essentially, it was just, me and the creative people that had got together to do it. For me, that was the best thing. And since then, I've made 4 films. 2 of them have been for proper budgets and financed and millions. And 2 have been sort of more the guerrilla way. And it's so much easier to make them the guerrilla way, I think. Write a script that you can do for a certain amount of money and just say, right, well, let's do it. Whether you make it for like £50 or $50,000 or $500,000, I just think it's really important to have a goal of what you're doing.